Hello, everyone. My name is Arthur. I'm a teacher here at TechStart, also a key manager at Aluma. And today we're starting our awesome, amazing free QA course, as well as automation course. So our goal is to show you what the testing is, plus our goal is to let you try do some coding as well as automation and to see if you can do that. So actually our mission in general, so our idea why we're doing this, why we're doing courses, why we're doing main course, why we're doing this course, because we have a mission. And our mission is to do something important in this life, right? So we are thinking about some projects in the future. And we one day we just thought, hey, we need to do something. We need to start something, but we didn't have enough good people. So how to do that? So let's then create those people for ourselves. So we do courses to create a community, to build our community, and maybe find some people among you to join us in our future ventures. That's why we're doing this course today. Maybe some of you will try, you will like IT, you will like QA, you will like coding, and you will join us in our future ventures. And someday we will create some nice startup or some great product with you. That's our idea that stands behind our main courses, that stand behind this course. So let's get started. Let's try first what is QA. So we created this free course to show you what QA is, what we do, what you will be doing as a tester or a developer, or software developer in test, if you can do some coding, because today we're doing manual QA class, tomorrow will be coding class, and we will have 3 manual classes. We will try to do some interviewing and some coding as well. So the goal of this small course, of this free course, is for you to try yourself in this field and decide if you would like to continue and become a software QA engineer or software developer in test, or maybe front-end developer or mobile developer or whoever. So Julia, now your turn. Tell us about yourself, and I will go on mute and I will just start managing the chat.
Okay, yeah, do your job, manage people. So, hello everyone. My name is Julia, and I'm a software QA engineer and the teacher at TechStar of the course QA manual. So, today I'm here for try it out, for presenting what we are doing during the course, like, but just like small part of it. And maybe this is opportunity for some of you to try it, because um, I know most of us, we are trying to change our life, to start new career or something, and it's scary. And there are a lot of opportunities around, but you have to pay for them. And let's just try it out and see if you like it. So I prepared in my usual style for this lesson. I kind of always prepare some material that you can use in future, and I want uh, I want that um, this even free lecture would be useful for you in future as well. So today, what we're gonna do in pretty limited time, I would like you um, to work with some documentation and to do some test planning. And as we go, I would talk about this, explain about this. But first, yeah, let me introduce myself. So, as I already said, my name is Julia. I live in Santa Clara in Silicon Valley. I work at Dot Data. This is a machine learning startup. We are building in great features for data scientists, and I work as a software QA engineer there already 2 years, doing a lot of functional testing there. That's not easy, and also leading releases for this company. My background is uh, kind of heavy. I'm a mathematician. Yeah, and but it turns out that I'm just I have like two passions in my life. It's testing. I do love it a lot, but also it turns out I'm a teacher too. I love teaching. I love explaining to people in details how it works and what to do with it. And mm, I'm ready to start with you right now today. So here in this slide, and you will be given it after the course, I will show where you can get it. There's my business email that you can reach out to me and my LinkedIn account. Please connect. Yeah. So when we are, let's start rock and roll, right? So when we are talking about testing, a lot of people thinking, hey, yeah, you just, especially when we're talking about manual testing, we are thinking about clicking on buttons, checking if there's some kind of errors and so on. But there are a lot of rules behind this. There's two sides. From one side, it's easy. You're kind of doing what you're doing every day when you are opening your laptop, going to any application, and working with it. Even when you are using something, any software application, you are already testing it, and it's no jokes. It's kind of user acceptance testing. You as a user working with it, and you like it or not. If you like it, you accept how it works. So you're already performing a lot of user acceptance testing, and like you don't know about it. But when you join a company as a software QA engineer, um, you need some skills actually for it. And the first one, it's working with documentation. Um, Again, when I heard, when like I was working as a tester before I um, came to the United States, back to Russia. I was working on the great project and uh, went through all states for development of software development, like creating some documentation. Then some people were developing it for us. We were testing it and even um, supporting it after users start using it. So all all of it. And when I'm thinking about like working with documentation, especially if you're immigrant, for example, and you have language barrier, think about it this way. Like I came to the United States 5 years ago with zero level of English, like zero, really. Um, Thanks to French classes during the school. But as you can see, like right now, I'm doing some courses here because I love testing and I want to speak about this. So when we are working with documentation, you don't have you don't need to be technical writer level. No, what does it mean? Documentation, it's kind of instructions how the application should work. And let's think about what is technical documentation or requirements that testers are working with. It's some kind of statements, and it's written here, that identify how product does or shall do. And it's really written in very simple technical English. You don't have to write essays or something. You should be able to read really easy technical English. So and that's actually a language that I speak to. Yeah, I know I'm not a poet, but still, that's enough for working at tech companies. So And what can be what types of documentation we know? First of all, for some kind of software product, there's business requirements, high level documentation that describe how it should work, for what it was created, or this like idea for what it stands for. And it's kind of give you some feeling, what is it about? And think about it, because a bit later, like 5-10 minutes later, we will be working with documentation and we will be looking into, I think this is a business requirement. So what is it? Next thing that that is part of documentation is some kind of software requirements. When we are trying to develop some kind of feature, some new application, so that's not enough to have some idea about, oh, I want to create super cool app that will like do fast and amazing orders for you, or like record your business tasks and publish it somewhere. That's not enough. Business requirements, they don't work when we're trying to create something. Um, Probably you're aware that to become software developer, to create some kind of features, you need to spend some time, quite a lot of time, I would say like 4-6 months at least, for some kind of coding practice and so on. And these people, they implement all this amazing application, buttons, graphs, and everything, not just based on business requirements. They do it based on the user stories. User stories, it's requirements that have more detailed information about how it should work. It can describe how it can list all components that should be present on some kind of pages and how each of the components should work. But you'll see it's usually written in easy words again. Besides that, there are some kind of best practices that you have on the specific project, how to implement this thing or that thing specific, and you are learning them during your while you're working with people, how it usually works, and it becomes part of documentation too. um, I Yeah, maybe too much detail for the free course, but yeah. Also, any user manual guides, any user manuals that are created for this product or for the previous versions of the product, their documentation too. Reading them, how it should work, you're actually understanding how your next version will work too. For example, let's imagine that you upgraded your TV, for example, like you bought a new version of TV and they kind of forgot to provide you a user manual, right? So how you know how to work with it and how to test it? Probably if you're upgrading your TV, you have already like previous user manual, and based on it, reading it, you can kind of come up with the ways how to operate with a new one. And yeah, and even if something is not provided, you already have overview how to work with it. So user manuals, they're kind of useful when we're talking about working with documentation. And another thing, it's wireframes and mock-ups. What does it mean? It's kind of design things. For someone, it may be like, what are these words? It's okay, guys. It's mock, right? It's something designed, and actually it's examples like pictures for you to find out how to do it. And if your company has an amazing designer, and my company when I work, it has amazing design team. They're creating cool libraries with all like specification, how the elements should look like. And I really I'm enjoying working with documentation when you're opening and you have all information how it should work and it's easy to test. And then we are moving to kind of testing component, right?
Sorry for interrupting you. I have
Yeah,
a good example.
yeah,
Actually, you mentioned user manual, and
yeah.
that's an amazing example because um, the only actually difference is everybody works with user manual, right? When you buy some new stuff. Actually, yesterday I was installing like smart lock on my door. So you have a user guide, right? You have a user guide, and you install that lock according to the user guide, or
Mhm.
you buy some stuff at IKEA, right? Then you just have that manual, and then you try to build out your stuff, your, I don't know, whatever you bought at IKEA, right?
Yeah,
So requirements look the same. So you have some documentation usually, but the only difference between user manual and requirements is user manual is when you have something existing already. So you have the product and you just have user manual and hey, this is how it works. But requirements, it's prior to the creation of these product. So your requirements is for us as a QA people to understand how it works, to test in the future, and for developers to let them know how to implement, what to build. So if you can imagine that IKEA user guide, it's the same with the pictures, but the instruction says, hey, should be the product you're creating, and this is how it should work. So developers or the people on somewhere in IKEA warehouse, they just create that. They just create that product based on that user guide, on that documentation, that ugly wireframes that I cannot understand anything from, and something like that. So this is pretty much it about documentation, right? So this is like a just document describing how the product works, and it's very similar to what you're using daily when buying some stuff. For example, my smart lock I was installing yesterday. I just took that user guide and was installing that lock according to it.
yeah,
Same with the requirements. You just read, developers just sit, read the requirement. Hey, this button should be green. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
The
The
color.
point of it, if you can read like user manual or user guide for any hardware, I believe you will be able to read documentation and work with documentation for any software. It can be scary for first 2 or 3 weeks when you're joining some kind of project. There's a lot of terms that first you don't know them, but for this to feel secure, work on some kind of project before. Actually, there's a lot of examples of documentation in internet or any courses actually that you're taking. They will provide something to you, so it's kind of easy peasy. So,
I remember
and
my
yeah,
first job. I came and they didn't prepare a computer for me. And what happened? They just gave me like tablet and said, "Hey, here you go. Just read the documentation." And you sit and read. Okay, when you click on this button, this page opens, and then you try to just understand how it works in general, right? The
yeah,
application. And I, for 3 days, I was just sitting in the tablet and just reading that documentation because they didn't prepare a computer for me. So this is usually what you start from on any
yes,
project, any
we,
job.
we start from it. Yeah, from this or from execution some others test cases, and we will look into it. So yeah, and actually that remind me another story from my job. I moved from one project to another, so I already had some experience working on, and I was struggling with finding words. We were doing stand-ups, like I was already working a couple of weeks, and I started finding the first bugs, like first errors, uh, like some kind of inconsistency in the product, and I started reporting it. And it was kind of embarrassing during like this meeting when all engineers are looking at me, and I'm like saying, okay, guys, like yesterday I filed this box and I'm trying to explain what is it about, and I cannot find words. And then they were like, but my team, they all were engineers. They were awesome developers. They were like my big bros, and they said, "It's okay, Julia, just show us on the screen." So that was my, communication a couple years ago. So nevertheless, I will show you an example of the documentation, and we will work with it in 3 minutes. So the goal of our lesson today with you, and actually to work with documentation, to interact with this, and then to do some test planning. Like when I just started working some time ago in testing, I was eager to test and like, give me the product, I will test it, I will like do that and that, I will break it, I will find all bugs, and I will push developers to fix it. And this kind of exciting, it's like adrenaline that was built inside me. But then like more mature you're becoming, you understand the meaning of test planning. Test planning, when you are preparing yourself ahead, how you're going to test it. And actually, one of the first QA questions that you are getting during the interview, by the way, it's something like even HR can, or like on screen call, someone can come up with the question, okay, can you say me how would you test this feature, like login page or registration page? How would you test it? And you have to explain in simple words, how would you test it? And this, guys, it's test planning. So if you are doing test planning, you can explain how would you test any feature. And our lesson today is like, can you test it? So let's find out. So and also it's easier to test than, and not to skip any areas, and do methodical and like awesome tester, when you're not just like doing ad hoc testing, like here and there and clicking buttons, trying to do what you just came up with, but when you're going through some kind of list that you created before, and according to this list, you go through application carefully, methodically, and you have an awesome result at the end. So as a test engineers, we are creating test cases. Test case, it's some set of actions. We describe what we need to do to verify that some particular feature actually working correct. So test case, it's kind of point, it's an action that you should do to check something. This is plan what you will do. And today we will do it. We are going to practice it, and we will start with documentation. So for this, I prepared some materials. I prepared documentation for you guys, and I will share a link. And anyone with this link can comment on the document. I'm copying it and I'm sending it to the chat to everyone. 1 second. And now you can access it on your laptops. And yay, all these icons, they are saying me that people are joining and seeing this document. So what we're going to do, we prepared an awesome try it out course for you guys. We actually came up with our team and we created documentation with an awesome small application that we can test during like couple days. And we are working in software development lifecycle right now. So let me show you. So this is documentation, and it's stored in Google Doc only because I want to share it with you. So you would be able to look at it outside of our organization. But let me give you a sneak peek how it looked like in the company. So, for example, we are in the system that's called Azure DevOps, and there's a specific project that's called Try It Out. This project has a wiki. Wiki, the place when we can store, for example, our requirements. And for the project that's called Get in Line, for the application that we're going to test in a week, we created some documentation. It's split it by blocks, so it would be easier to work on. And basically documentation usually in system like this, it can be Jira or Confluence or Azure DevOps, whatever. They are functioning the same way at work. And your documentation stored in some kind of pieces, but we call them user stories that describe how it should work. So for example, if I click on some specific feature, it will give me the description. And I just, took this description from the system, place it in the Google Doc so you could look into it. So, but basically in our system, it looked like this. Everything is split it on small pieces, and we do have specific boards when we create tasks. And right now we're looking with you at documentation, and this application, um, it doesn't exist yet, because right now in this moment, several developers, they're implemented these features that we are gonna talk about. And this is exactly what is happening um, with testers. They're giving some documentation how it should be, and they're working on it. They're planning how they're going to test it in future, but there's no application. There's nothing to touch yet. Yeah, and that's not like I'm hiding it and I'm already described something that there's nothing to test yet, but we have to plan. We have to come up with the plan. So let's talk about this. Our main goal right now, to understand it, to go through this documentation, to understand it, and to ask as many questions as we can. And right now, because I'm actually a product owner of this application as well, so I'm the person who had this idea for this application. So any questions that you will be asking, you can address to me about how it should work. And this is an awesome, it's kind of, product requirement refinement meeting, when actually testers, they have a chance to ask about how it should work. So let's read. It's pretty simple application, and yeah, a lot of words. Let's read together. So
You know what you
mhm.
can do? I can read it for you, and because I didn't see these requirements yet, so it will be like good example when, for example, I don't understand something and I can ask you right away because
Oh,
you're the product
that's,
owner, right?
yeah, that's awesome. That's
Do you
awesome.
want me
And
to read?
yes, you can. Absolutely. Do you want to share a screen so you could navigate freely? Where are you?
Yeah, I see my internet is unstable, but okay. Yeah, I'm just opening, and let me share the screen.
Yes, let's do it this way. Okay.
Okay. Um, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Good. Okay, background. There is web application called Get In Line that helps to regulate walk-in appointments for vaccination. Recipients should be registered to get an ID and see their name in the line. A simple one-page application can handle the task. So this is just, as I understood, this is just a regular description of the application. This is not a requirement, right?
It's kind of business requirement. You know, what is it about, to give you just an idea, like what you're going to work with,
But we
right?
are not going to cover this by test case, right? This is not
No,
like,
no,
okay, good.
no, sure.
Okay, this is just like general description what this application is for. Okay.
Yes, I wanted to give you guys an example of business requirements as well. And this is stored in this section background.
Okay, so what we have next, user story. When recipients are joining the queue, they want to see a number of people in the line and their position so they could estimate their time in the line. So this is also like high level requirement, right?
Yes, correct. This is a user story in this specific format that some of the companies are using, actually, this one. And then it's going design. And if you click this link, and password is going to be hello world 1234. Yeah. You will see an awesome design. I'm proud of it. But it's mine. I'm not like UX design. No, it's very simple.
Is this the
That's,
application
yeah.
you're using for the design?
Yes, yes. It gives me some wireframes, and
I like.
it's free for 3 boards, I believe.
Wow, wow.
Yeah. It's actually showing what will happen. And I'm excited to see how developers are actually implementing my application. It's so awesome, guys. When Arthur is saying that we are building a community, for example, for me, this is a great opportunity to lead the project as a product owner. And I am so enjoying in writing requirements, business requirements, software requirements, and it will help me in my work too to achieve some internal goals. So in my company too.
So now I will open the document and I will try to understand what's going on and what's going to be created. So by navigating, so again, guys, as this is not the application. This is just like design example, and developers will be building the application based on this. So there is no application we can test right now or click. There is just a design, and developers, they in the same situation as we are. So they will read the documentation, they will overview the design, and they will build application based on this. So our goal right now, my goal right now as a tester, is to review documentation and find maybe some gaps or some inconsistency, contradictions, because what happens, developers will do those mistakes as well if they are some in the documentation. So this is our goal, to read it and understand right now. Okay, by navigating to base URL, user can see the following fields. So where is the base URL?
This is a one-page application. So basically you will be only, so you have only one URL and you will be present with this page. Yeah.
Okay, good. So understood. So I will see text area, image table, open form button. Oh, and where's the text area?
On the left corner, left upper corner, there are 167 people in the line. This is a text area.
Okay, okay, understood. So it's just a text. That's just a text with the number of people in the line, right?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Image. Okay, this is what I see on the right. And table. This is it. And open form button.
Yes.
This is the one. Okay, so I understood this. Any questions from you guys? Anything you didn't understand from here?
If something is not clear, feel free to do a comment actually in the document.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will show how to. You just select what is not understandable for you, like this, and just do like this. Hey, what is this? I'm too stupid to understand.
No. Don't do examples like this. It's not professional, guys. So when we are doing some comments, think about like people who are writing requirements, they're busy, really. So your question that should be narrow. They should be focused on some issue. For example, it would be better, for example, Arthur, you could ask, you had some questions about why it's called text area. Maybe you know better term for this field, right? Correct. Maybe just a text, something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, um, guys, please avoid comments about like, oh, it's grammatically wrong or so on. For example, I work in the company where a lot of people, they're Japanese, and or you can join the company that has like a lot of Chinese people or someone, and it will be really rude. Try to correct their grammatical mistakes. If you understand what is it about, like if the meaning is fine, don't correct people on their grammar, please. It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
I believe you just need to put yourself in somebody
their
else's
shoes.
shoes
Yeah. Mhm.
and understand that. Let's imagine if somebody writes that to me, right? What would I feel? So just try to be nice. That's like common sense, right? You just to be nice. They will be nice to you and will be responding as soon as possible. Yeah, I think that's a good question. Why is it called text area? Okay,
Mhm.
and oh, okay, Julia, can you check, or I can maybe check if I have rights. Um, change comment. Yeah, you can everybody should be everybody with the link should be able to comment. So if you select, it should appear over here, or you select, right click, and you have a comment option and you leave a comment then. So this is two ways how you can do the comment. Okay, and then what happens, the owner of this document replies to this, and then if I get and I'm satisfied with the answer, I will close it as the person who asked. Okay, so for now I'm just asking. Okay, then text area consists of 3 lines. Okay, there are X people in the line, so 3 lines. Okay, it's clear for me. It's clear. Oh, there is a contradiction. This is uppercase here, but lowercase in the design.
Good eye. I would say Arthur is very detail-oriented person, by the way, and he already found spec bug. I would call it spec bug when you have like 2 sources of truth in documentation and they're contradict to each other. And it's good to resolve it right now. So because we don't know which one developers will prefer. Maybe
I
it's not
can I
correct.
on
Mhm.
your behalf.
Um,
It's better if you fix it because I'm too lazy to do that.
no, right now we are not going to fix it. Just leave a comment. We
I
won't
left.
fix
I
it.
left it.
Okay. Okay.
Where X is a number of records in the table. Clear. Yeah, 167. Yeah, clear. For now, it's clear for me. Anyone else have any questions, guys? Let me. You can unmute yourself. Feel free to unmute yourself and just, yeah, tell it by voice.
And then I will be looking into the chat while like you are, yeah, doing all these activities.
Okay. Somebody tried to delete the image. Guys, as a commenter, you cannot delete the image. You just show something like that. Okay, good. Image is in the right top corner. Good. I see the image is like that. Okay. You know what I see on the image? I see some shadow over here. Is that described somewhere?
No, we kind of avoid a lot of design um, requirements.
Okay.
We are going to give it to developers and see what they can implement, and then maybe like it's not too detailed requirements.
Yeah, again, it's all about agreement, right? I ask
Yes.
question, if product owner tells me, hey, don't worry about that. That's implementation details. The developers tells us.
Yeah.
With shadow, we will add shadow. If they say without shadow, it says to be defined. Okay, I'm fine with that. I just need to ask that question.
Yep.
Table consists of table header. Okay, good. I see the bold part. And okay, the number is there. Vaccine recipient is there, and ID starts with uppercase is there. Okay, and table body. Good. This is the table body. With order number, name and last initial.
Yeah, last initial name, that's like only the first
I
letter of your last name.
I see. And for symbols, ID, letter plus 3 digits. Okay, so some ID. Do we have any idea how is that created, that ID generated?
Yes, later.
Okay, good. Okay, then we have open form button is in the right bottom corner. So you mean like 4 corners. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, right? It doesn't mean over here. It means like, right?
Um,
I mean, right bottom corner is not, you mean not here, but like right.
it's, yeah, it's kind of, yes, 4 sections. Yeah.
Okay, maybe, okay. So while I'm picking, so I will say, isn't it better to say in the middle of right bottom section like this? And this is how you go through documentation, read it and try to understand. Get the label is get in the line, which is clear with exclamation. By clicking on the button, registration form pops up. Okay, this guy, okay, with no details. And registration form is, oh man.
Yes.
First name input field, name. You know what? It doesn't say anything about this label, name.
Yes, that's like some vagueness in the requirements. So, but because you have clear design, good design, we will use mockups as a part of the requirements as well. So you're kind of using it as a part of requirements.
Okay. Okay, so again, we like combine them together, right? Okay, understood. So we use both as a source of truth, and if something is missing in there, we should use this as a reference. If something is missing here, we should use this as a reference, right? Especially for how it functions.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Understood. Last name accepts up to 7. What is the minimum actually? Oh, this is my question. What would be the minimum amount? How about mean number of symbols?
Wild guess?
One? Can it be one?
Of course, yes. Good guess, Julia. Of
One?
course, it's going to be 1. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Then you will have to reply to me.
Yeah, absolutely. But guys, you're already in this meeting, and all the information that you're getting during this meeting, you absorb it and use it again.
So I will just remove my comment. Okay, date of birth. Okay, I see 3 fields.
Yeah, I'm sorry that interrupt you, but there says in the box that first name and the first name.
In the box on the design, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, could you open, please? Yeah, this is a
Oh,
yeah.
good eye, man.
Okay, so you can do a comment here, something about like, yeah, please review design, yeah, mockup. Yeah, there's a wrong placeholder. Yeah, we have another
about
very
second name?
detailed, yeah, oriented person. What?
What about the second name? I know that a lot of people prefer to use a second name, like a first name, second name, and the last name.
A middle name.
They can, yeah, it's actually accept spaces, any symbols, so you can put both of them in this one.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
We shouldn't be
yeah, but you
not
can
extra one box for that.
We don't. Like, it's very easy application, and yeah, people will found out. We were working with focus group that actually it's easier, it's better, because it's very fast-paced application. When people just get in line, they have to register very fast and get their ID and wait. So
Okay. Got it.
that's just idea. That's how we designed it.
But it's a very good example, actually, because you have to ask that question. If you think that's a really good question, you ask it.
Yes.
And product owner just tells you, hey guys, don't worry about that. It's just a simple application, and we don't have to focus on that. It's not a critical for this application. Maybe it would be critical for some other application, but for this application, it's not critical. So it will be just a first name field, and that's it. So actually, product owner is the one who will give you the answer, and Julia.
Decide, yeah. And yeah, guys, and don't feel rejected actually by this one, because maybe I said like no for this one, but the second application by the same company, it will be needed like 100%, and then it will be so in place. You know, the best question ever. Okay.
So month just drop down with months, with 12 months, right?
Yep.
And okay, so I believe those will be like full months values there, like
Yes.
February, March. Okay, that's what I see from design.
From design, yes.
Okay. Day just inputs a field that accepts digits, and year that accepts digits only. Okay.
Yes.
It doesn't say about max or min input, but I believe it should be 2 and 4. Should be max here.
Yes, it would be better to mention it in documentation, but also, you know what, about date of birth, I will be open to another implementation. If developers will decide to do it as a calendar, you know, the very standard calendar form, I will accept it too. But if they will implement it exactly this way, then yes, you are absolutely right. We need to mention. Yeah.
Okay, understood.
About here questions, months has drop down, but rest field year and date doesn't have drop down. So is it necessary?
This is a good question. Usually we are trying to do some kind of consistent thing, but yeah, that's a good question. It can be asked. So Arthur, you can skip it for now, but the person who asked it with voice, please do a comment here, okay? It will be great.
Okay, good. And what else? We have vaccine, radio buttons, only one choice. Okay. And okay, what would be the options? I don't see the options. That's my question.
Okay, yeah, good question. It's in the design, but this is the place when we should provide these informations. Yeah,
okay,
here.
Good. And then submit. Oh.
On the previous screen, there is a submit button. You're working with this screen yet?
Submit button. Okay, understood. Is enabled when all fields are filled in. So I have a question here regarding the design, because what will disabled state look like for this button?
This is a good question. Yeah, and people can address it. So disabled, it's gonna be grayish, like in our shadows. Yes, our application. You can see the main color is purple for it, and it's gonna be grayish. Yeah, so not like the gray buttons when they're disabled.
Okay, an X button over here, which is like cancel, right? That closes the.
Yes, this form without submit.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes.
On a design, you got a submit button only when fields are empty, and then it changed to close button when fields are filled.
It's already after submit.
Uh-huh.
This is the next state when you click submit button.
So as understood from here, submit button will be disabled.
There's no need to close it.
Yeah, close if you want to cancel it, you know, you don't
Close
want
the
to
pop-up.
submit something, but you want to close it. And on this state.
But you
before
have
submit.
X to close it and cancel it.
Yep.
I don't think it's user friendly to cancel it by close button. I'm sorry.
No, it's not cancel, I believe. How I understood this, it's just design needs to be updated. So here we should see disabled button. Once you enter these values and select the vaccine, it will become
And then you should
active.
Then you should put on your all rest of details, date of birth.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, and then it's going to be, yes, that's correct. But guys, 1 second. So this design, it cannot match exactly like all states. If I would provide like the state after each field filled in, it would take a lot of time. So we should try to understand how it will behave based on design and documentation in words that we have. And this is the very hard, I'm looking at Arthur and it's hard work, see, actually. So basically right now, one step skipped here. It's when close, like submit button is disabled on the screen number 2.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when we input information about the person and we already submitted it because we see it in the left bottom corner, there is a last name of the person, but we still see all the information about the person.
No.
No, it will be closed.
Okay.
It will be closed
So this
because
is how it
yeah.
works. This is how I understand this. So if you click this, so this is how screen looks when you land, right?
Yeah.
Then you click this button, then it just opens the pop-up. Everything else remains the same, right?
Yes.
Opens the pop-up. This should be disabled, so I cannot click it, right?
Yes.
Then you fill your data, then select the vaccine, and then it will become active. Then you click it.
Yes.
Then you will get this state when this field appears and button becomes closed, right?
Yes.
Then you close it, and then you get to this state when you have the same table, but your ID with your data is at the last entry in the table, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now I got it. Okay, so I understood how it works, and just the matter of understanding also the wording here, and that's it.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, that was work with requirements, and yes, you can.
Let me read the last paragraph and see. After clicking submit, button ID. After clicking the submit button, ID appears at the bottom of the form. Submit button becomes close button, and a new record appears in the list.
Just created recipient, new one, added in the list.
X number plus 1. X number, this guy. I remember. 168. It was 167. Oh man, 167. It became 167 plus 1, which is 168. Okay, understood. ID, the first letter of the chosen vaccine. Oh, now I got it. So Moderna plus 3 random digits. Just 3 random, right?
Yes.
But they shouldn't be something that already existing in here, right?
So it's generated after they click submit.
No, I mean like they are random, but they cannot be the same as one of the numbers here.
I didn't think through this one.
So
That's like
basically, it means that every vaccine cannot be given more than 999 times
This day.
for this date. Oh,
For
okay.
this date, yeah.
this is for one day, right? Okay.
Yeah, only for one day, and next day it's gonna be like, yeah, the queue will be
Close button is enabled by
But if
clicking.
there will be more than 1,000 patients who will take Moderna vaccine, then what gonna how
It's
ID?
not gonna be 999.
it will be closed. Like they provide us to this point only 1,000 of vaccine, for example, right? And because of that, we have this limitation. So as soon as we are out of some kind of vaccine, hey, this is a good, actually,
Yeah,
yeah.
On the place where we do vaccines, it usually what happens, product owner goes to the like the client, usually some, let's say a small clinic ordered this form, right, for us.
Yep.
For us to build, and product owner just goes to the client and says, hey guys, what is the maximum amount of people you serve through the day, or you can, and they say, hey, the maximum amount of people is 300, and say, oh, then 999 works like
Yeah.
more than enough, right?
But Arthur, this question, it gives me like very important thing. I am, as a product owner, lost huge part of functionality here in this application. Which one? When we reach 999 for Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson Johnson, this option should be disabled in the list. Next user, next recipient cannot choose from the list vaccine like Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson and Johnson.
Good.
And you guys right now with this question, we just saved the company from like very bad case right now, just reviewing documentation, you know? So this is a great question and awesome comment. We'll go to the documentation and ask, hey guys, like this functionality is missing.
Okay, good. And
right?
what is this? What is
That's just, you know, there's a label like frame.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and I could not get rid of it.
Okay, that's understandable. Okay, no questions from my side. I see that
I've got one question.
Yep.
And as you said, this application can be used by the clinic, but say this is national-wide clinic and they have many, say even in California, you might have 10 places you can go to. Shouldn't be any like specific place be assigned to this application as well, like ID number?
Look, so this is one page, this feature, it's only what our customers will see, like our recipients will see. This application that they will use when they are joining line, right?
Yeah.
But beside that, in database, actually, will be much more information. For example, this is only one feature that we are going to test with you today and in a week. We have second session in a week. So where we will get some kind of implementation that developers are working right now, and we will test it based on our plan. And but behind that, there's more features. For example, this is patients list, right? But also there's a doctors page where doctors see the like when they will be confirming something like, okay, this patient got the vaccine, you know, or there's a different page when we have like specific line with, or like, yeah, we have general line from several clinics. Yes, you're right. But this feature, this is what we are giving for testing right now. You're thinking absolutely correctly. You're thinking like about like, okay, how it will be coordinated and so on. But right now we have only this one-page application.
Yeah, but I think it'd be nice to have as well as a customer. You can look and see which clinics still have a place for you to join and say I'm prefer say I want Moderna and this clinic is already out. So should it be like the something to choose the location as well?
This is a good improvement that you can suggest during meetings like this, but it's not gonna be in this application for now because we like have to, you know, we have to ship it to the customers in 2 weeks. And
Understand, it really depends on the client, right?
Yeah.
If your client is a single location, they will tell you, hey, this is only what we need, and that's it. And if you have a huge client and it makes sense for that case, yes. So you're asking a good question, but it's really not up to us to decide. It's up to
Yeah.
product owner that goes to the client and asks, hey guys, how many clients can you process during the day? If that's a single clinic in a single city and just says, hey, 300 people maximum, that's it. So that's what you state. You have that borders, right? You cannot go because it doesn't make sense to spend a lot of money, a lot of developers, a lot of effort to develop something that client doesn't need, and they don't want to pay something extra money, right? For something they don't need. So if it really depends on what comes from the client, because how it works, client tells us, hey, we would like to develop some simple application for our clinic. Then product owner creates those requirements, more detailed requirements, and discuss everything with the client. So your question is good, but it's really depends on who you have as a client. If your client is single clinic, they will just, there is no need to develop anything else. And if they can process only 300 people, if your client is like national wide company, yes, then it makes sense. And the application will not look like this. The application will be huge and you will have probably huge departments with hundreds of developers and hundreds testers. So it will be absolutely different case. So good question. But
and one more question. Everybody about privacy nowadays. What if I don't want to see my name there? Just I came to this link and I say my name. I say, hey, I don't want my name be visible there. You know, it's all about privacy nowadays. You know, what should we do about this if we don't want
schedule so your appointment somewhere else? So this is a requirement that we were giving. That's how they want to work. And yeah, I'm confirming that we are going this way. And if your product owner says so, you do it this way. Yeah.
Really up to the client, right? If client says, hey, we're okay with this.
It's just a name and just your first initial. So yeah.
And again, if you go to any clinic, if they have electronic line, you see the same. You see your first name and first initial of the last name on the table, usually electronic table. Who's the next person? Who is the second person in the line? You usually see that in the clinic. So probably they will tell, hey, that's fine.
I have
clinic is a single place. There's a limited number. This page is huge. There's, as you say, there could be up to 1,000 people, and that's just my thoughts, nothing else.
Yeah, but usually it's going to be a like small one. Yeah.
You need to understand, guys, that you're asking absolutely right questions, and you have to do that. When you will join a company and you will have a product, you will ask these questions. You have to do that. Those are really good questions. But what we are trying to right now explain you is that just a test product just for this small course. So you shouldn't expect anything like major from it. This one. And the second, it's really up to the client. If you have a small client, a single small clinic, they will tell you, hey guys, just create an application. We don't need any details. Just create us this small application so we can control people in line, and that's it, right? So it's everything the client needs will be developed. So even if you would like to develop nice feature, you think that, oh, that would be nice, and client says no, then the answer is no. And it's really up to product owner who will go to the client, ask, and if client says no, then it's no.
So
This is how it works.
yeah,
I have a question.
Yeah, okay.
So what we are doing right now, how does it called? What is this process called? Like, what is it we are doing right now? Is it reviewing the requirements and design?
Yeah.
Specification review. In my company, for example, we called it specification review. You are given a specs, some kind of requirements, and you're reviewing them. And
Have a
after,
put in our resume that we reviewed specifications.
yes, that's absolutely what you were doing. You were working with documentation, specification review. Yeah. Why
And the
not?
reason is very simple. If there are some contradictions or some ambiguities or incompleteness, what will happen? Developers, because developers, there will be no probably a single developer developing all of this. There will be several developers. Some of them will take part of the requirements, another person will take part of the requirements, and they have to match. If we have contradictions or ambiguities or incompleteness, there will be bugs. That's how bugs are created. That's how they appear. When you have something unclear, you think, oh, probably this is like this, and you develop your code like this, but this is not what client meant, right? And that's how you created a bug. And that's how you will find a bug in the system, because nothing is ideal. So that's why you try as a tester prevent bugs. So you review documentation with the team, with developers. Usually developers also participate in this meeting. You review with them and you ask questions because you would like to clarify everything and make this documentation. Everything is clear. Developers know what to do, what to test. Exactly. Because you know, with product owner, with developers, to clarify everything, to create good documentation understandable to everybody. That's the reason why we do this.
Okay, and let's stop here with this. Guys, this document will be available for you for the next week, and we will publish in Slack the link, and you can like review it and so on. But now let's see what we're going to do with these requirements and actually to do some test planning. And I will show you one cool thing. But if you have any more questions, just comment it, okay? Just do comments in the document, and I will try to answer them today and tomorrow.
And let's agree on the process, right? So the process will be you answer the question, and if that answer satisfies me, I will resolve it, right?
Yep.
If it doesn't, then I will reply again, right?
Yes.
So that's the process. So if you don't leave comments, if that answer satisfies you and Julia, for example, change the description and that answer satisfies you, then just resolve it. Your comment will disappear. So for example, like this.
Also, if your comment is abandoned for 3 or more days, I will resolve it myself. Like if you're not following up on it, I will resolve it. I will delete it.
Okay, so I'm good. QA tests are done. Okay, giving that to product owner.
Okay. So, but right now I'm gonna play the role. I'm like, you know, bipolar person. I will put the head of the tester now because now, given this documentation, I will work as a tester creating test cases, and I will show you guys how we do it. So basically, what I do next, I will go to test plans in my system, but don't be scared. You don't have access here, but I will show you how you can do it in spreadsheets. And I will show you that it's no jokes. It's still usable. So I will go to the test plans and I will create a new one. And I will create, for example, in my requirements, I know that I have two major features. I have a main page and registration form, right? I have this main page with 4 blocks, and I will be creating test cases for this page and functionality on this page. And the second one, I will create another test plan for registration form for this pop-up for all elements on it and how to interact with them and submit them. So I will create 2 test plans, and I will show you part of it, part of the process. You will see it's very easy. And guess what? You will have a homework and good bonus for submitting your homework, right, Artur? Artur, think about the bonus for now, because I already promised it. Now, as a manager, you have to come up with it.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, we got it, right? So as a mature tester, I'm always thinking about the structure. Okay, actually, all these requirements, it's something like about 2 major features. Yes, main page and registration form, and it's going to be like 2 big features for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going like to test plan, and I will create test plan for main page. But you're going to work with me in 5 minutes, but first I will show you how it's done here, and then yeah. So I'm creating a new plan that I will call actually main page. Okay. And
how do you sorry for interrupting. How do you decide how to call it? Are you basing
on the features? Yes. What I have,
like,
I have in my
test plan for features?
So one test plan for 1 second. Let me bring this design here. So one test plan for this page and what's going on here, and one test plan for this one. And inside the test plan, I will go 2 test suites, like 2 sets of test cases. First one about all elements, second about functionality, and the same for this one.
Thank you. Understood.
Okay, so Artur understood. You probably not, but I will show you right now. So there's a main page, and for this, I can create a suite that will be called main page elements, and another test suite that will be called main page functionality, like how I can interact with it or something like this.
So I just understood that what you're trying to do is just to break down your test cases to logical section, not logical sections, but like logical suites, right? Like sets.
Yes. As a QA lead, as I am too, so I am always trying to prepare this structure because I am tempted to build scalable frameworks, scalable structures and everything. And I'm actually helping to other engineers in my team to come up with this clear structure, always like to give them away. And for example, this, I'm deciding, okay, let's do it this way. And inside this suite about elements, I can create test case. What is test case? We were looking into the presentation and some kind of actions that will check that the application works correct. If we're talking about main page elements, what is going to be my test cases? I will get my requirements and I will say, okay, look, on this main page, I'm taking this one. By navigating to base URL, user can see the following fields: text area, image, table, and open form button. I have to check that all of these elements are present on my main page. So what is my test cases? Text area is present on the main page. Image is present on the main page. table is present on the main page, and open form button is present on the main page. So, and I'm doing copy paste, my favorite thing, right? So, 1 second, it's not allowing me to copy because, okay, text area. So I'm doing it like this. Text area is present on the main page. Okay. And this is my test case. What I'm going to check? I'm going to check that text area is present on the main page. Okay. And I have test case. Then next one.
You're checking in general, right? You're checking in general that text area is present without checking value.
Yes. And later I will do in like more, of course. Yes. Then what is this? Image, right? Image is present on the main page. And then I can sort them here inside and put like everything that related to text area, then everything related to image and so on and so on. Usually I'm working this style. First, all elements are here. Then are they correct or not on the page? Then how they interact, like are they working correct or no? I'm doing like layers. Okay, image is present. Table is present. And open form button is present. Like first 4 test cases. And then I know it's boring. You're bored to like just look how I'm working, or maybe not, but look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take all these test cases, and while I was talking about spreadsheets with you guys, because everything that each tool, each test management tool, there's like TestRail, Zephyr, X-Ray, TestLink, whatever, Azure DevOps test plans, they all can convert all your test cases in CSV format. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna take all these test cases and export them to CSV file right on my desktop. Look, it's here. It's a table. You can see it's a kind of table. And then I will open spreadsheet, blank spreadsheet.
You're just using Google spreadsheets, right?
Yes, it's Google spreadsheet. And guys, that's how we are working, because you saw these actions, right? Every time I have to click like new test case and copy and paste and so on. And it's kind of annoying. There's a lot of copy pasting in this work actually, and it's easy, but it's annoying. So what we do, we actually doing CSV file, then we go into spreadsheet and we import this file here. Import data. And look what I get. I get the fields like this: ID, type, test case, title. There can be test steps inside each of the test cases, like to check something, and some kind of general fields that I don't care even. So what I'm doing next, I'm creating, I will be creating new next test cases about text area and so on and so on, but I will be copying. It's easier, for example, not to copy paste for times that I was doing, but it's easier to do like this, you know, bam, and then like just change something here. It's awesome. I love spreadsheets. And then you can export it and import it back, and you will have all these cases here. It's so easy to work with. So I prepared for you a template, by the way. look, it's already template, and this is the second part of your homework that's going to be. Please try it out. I'm copying a link. There's a template. It's a little bit beautified because I'm not gonna import your templates into the system, so you will be working with this, but still, 1 second, I will send it to everyone. What you need to do, you need to go to this page and make a copy. Make a copy and save it in your own Google Drive, because this page you cannot edit. You can only view it, but you can go like File, make a copy, and save it on your Google Drive, like My Drive.
I have one more idea. If we can do that, it's up to you, of course.
Okay, what?
We can do multiple tabs with their names. So you have extended now. They can do like plus, and then, I don't know, Arthur, let's say, and then I write my test cases on my tab.
Oh, that's true. That's true, but I believe that they can overwrite each other. So I would prefer them to work in their documents.
Okay.
So in this case, and then in your copy, you can do whatever you want and just start working on it. And also this copy has another column, pass fail, that we will be needed for next lesson, when we will be testing based on our test cases. And it's going to be just awesome, guys. So, and what I was doing before, I can do like this, right? Text area, image, and table, and open form button. See, it's much easier. It's all in one place. So it's very good, right? I will make a copy, because if I will be writing here, you can copy later with all my examples, and I want you to work on your own. Don't copy mine. So I will go to my drive, and my drive, come on.
You probably had to click something, save or something.
Yeah, probably. Okay, sorry. Yeah, my drive. Okay. It's not visible here right now. Okay.
Bug in Google.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's selected now. Good. Okay, it's my typical test cases. Okay. Whew. Okay. So, and what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna do like this one, as Arthur mentioned. So we have to test it. It's really important. The text area consists of all these three lines. Like there are X people in the line, and what is X? X is the real number of records in the table. So this is a very important thing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to my test cases, and I will write a new one. And what I can do, I can actually put it here after text area, because it's flexible, right? So how it will look like this test case. Text area consists of 3 lines, right? It's present on the main page, and actually, like the best way, let me put it next to each other. It's actually copy.
Yeah, I usually do copy paste.
Yes, copy paste of 3 lines. And I should mention which lines actually, right? Mm-hmm. Like I can do it something like this. There are, or whatever, X. It's up to you. It's like style that you should understand and other people in your company should understand what is it about. But like this. And I would put actually that X is a number as a separate test case. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, it's really up to you. I usually do how I usually write. I usually write
All in ones.
consists of 3 lines. It's a one test case. Then I test. First line is there are. Second line is X people.
Yeah,
Third line,
let's split it even
break it
granular
down.
then. Yeah, let's do. The first line is, yeah, I agree actually with you.
Yeah, actually, it's up to a tester. So it's up to you how you will write test cases. The main goal is to test everything and make sure the application works. But I usually break down everything so I track the problems separately, because if this test case will fail separately, I will raise a bug report for it separately.
And what I'm gonna do, we are showing you different approaches, by the way. Right now, like there is a 2 testers and we're working for different companies with Arthur, and we have different approaches. So I just ask his opinion and yeah, why not? And also I will include this X here, where X is a number of the people in the line. Bumps. And the third line is in the line. And because I don't know what the answer from yet, like is it going to be capital I or small one, I go with what I have in documentation for now. But maybe in the future I will correct it, like maintain your tests, you know. So this is it about like text area, right? About this one. So then about image. Image is present on the main page. And the second test case that I would check that
Maybe let's give somebody
yeah.
a try.
Okay. Yes, actually.
Somebody wants to try to create a test case.
What would be the another test case important? The first one is there is an image on the page, but this is requirements. So what would we add as a test case to?
Actually, what would you test?
Yeah, what would you test here?
Right, your goal is to test that application is working correctly. Is just saying that the image is there enough?
So one more thing we'll need to test is if the customer has provided an image, it needs to match. It needs to be the right one.
Correct.
Especially when there are logos involved.
Okay, good. That's a good one. So let's describe it as like the image matches the visual spec. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The image matches the visual spec. Like
also, what usually happens to me during test case creation, I got more questions. So what would be the size of the image? Also,
yes. Yeah, and you can go at this moment, you can go and follow up on this page in requirements about like, hey, what is going to be the size or something like this. And also there is one point here, right, in requirement that it's written because it's important. So we should check it, right?
I have one question though.
Yeah, yes.
It's in the previous section.
Okay.
If you could go back to your...
Okay, my test cases, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the way you've written it here is all inclusive, right? But sometimes it can happen that you do UI separately and functionality separately. Is that advised, or is this a better approach? Like the whether the value of X is right becomes more of a functional thing rather than a UI
rather
thing?
than this one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's up to you. Really, it's up to you. Maybe here it may be like where X is a number. So this is a number, but I'm not checking yet which exact number. So
Accuracy, yeah. Okay.
yes, okay. But that's a good one, yeah. So that's one. It's up to you how to combine them. It should be like logically understandable, good flow. And actually, when you are starting executing them and working on them, you will get the sense. Basically, guys, I'm working with this application for the first time too. Like it's not something that I'm doing like every month. And by the way, I'm not gonna do it like, okay, we are giving free courses, we will do like it's each month or something. No, my goal is to come up with every time to come up with different new small application that will give us more functionality, interesting functionality, and will give a chance to people to check different sites of application, answer different questions. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
In general, I just wanted to ask that is it better to separate out UI test cases versus functional and accuracy, or is it a good idea to just combine it?
It depends on the company. For example, on the project that I'm working on right now, we do have separate types of testing, really. We're doing functionality that all elements are present and that there are like incorrect positions, and when you interact with them, they're doing correct actions. But all design about like colors, sizes, alignments, and so on. Actually, it's doing not me, but UX designers themselves.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thanks, Julia.
absolutely. So here it's kind of startup project, and we can combine everything. But when we're talking about design, it will be look like this. The image matches the visual spec, like the buttons matching visual spec, something like this, right? Design is correct. You will be checking it in general, for example. Okay, so where are we? For me, it was very important that image is not in the middle of the screen, not on the left, right? Image in the right top corner. And you know what? This is my test case. I love test cases like this. Look at this. Bam. Here we are. Requirement-driven approach when you're just copying and pasting. So then you should write here. You can fill in test cases about the table, right? And I'm not going to write them right now. I'm going to save some time here, but you will be writing about, okay, it has header, and it has like in the header, we have this, this, and this. And in body, we have order numbers, and we have this and this. It's like our requirements for the table, and we will be checking it, right? We will be checking it here. Then it's going to be open form buttons present on the main page. Yep. Question? No? Okay. And then the same about open form button. So it's in the right bottom corner, and it should be like, yes, specified where, but for now I will take it like this. The label of the open form button is this one. Awesome. I need just to copy paste it. The label of the open form button. Oh, sorry. Button is get in line. Yes, we are here. And by clicking on the button, the registration form pops up and open, and even some functionalities here, right? By clicking on the open form button, a registration form pops up. It's our test cases for the main page. Hey, that's it. Then it's going to be test cases for the registration form, right? And I don't know, Arthur, I think we are gonna stop maybe here because
yeah, I think that's a good point that we need to give a homework and guys need to
yes.
write their own test cases.
So, but you can come up with more, questions and so on.
Yeah, so let's assign the homework, and after that we
Yes.
will just start asking
Yeah.
questions.
So I will share this presentation with you as well, guys, and it will be posted in Slack. So the homework is for the next week: review documentation, leave comments if it's not clear in this document, finish test cases, like make a copy of the template here, and join our Slack and submit your homework. I created the channel, Arthur, sorry, I created the channel Homeworks. Yeah, in Slack. And so let me show you guys. So I think Arthur will send an invite to the Slack too. So this is a Slack. You won't be able to see some kind of closed group because it's our group that we're working with, but there's an open one, Homeworks. You can join it, and there is message here, a pinned message. It's going to be always here, and you can find it here by clicking on this pin and navigate to this. If some flood will happen in this channel, you will find it. It says homework number 1 for the lesson. Can you test it? Submit your test cases in the thread. And people are joining now. So what you need to do, what is a thread in the Slack? If you hover over this message, there is a this sign here that says reply in the thread. I click on it and I can reply. And example of my homework. And you need to provide homework. And you can do a link here, right, with your spreadsheet. And if you will submit your homework, I will go through it, I will look into it, and I will reply to you guys. I promise, because that's how I work. I explained everything. I show an example. We're working together. I'm giving an assignment, and later I'm checking on it always and giving a feedback. And we're keeping our group small. So because of that, like I'm available for everyone. I can provide the feedback actually for everyone. This is because it's my motto, you know, you did something, I will reply to you. So, and yeah, and basically this is it. That's what I wanted to present you. But on courses, we are usually working in this system, and we are not submitting to each other spreadsheets on everything. It's in the one system. I'm just going to test plans, and I am checking it here. Yeah.
And the reason is very simple, guys, because test plans functionality only is $50 per person per month. It's only test plans. It's without the other stuff.
Yes, we're not providing right now. It's for everyone to try. Yes, because it's as Arthur said. Yes, for using it, you have to pay like $50, and yeah, we want to save.
If we add all of you, for example, like 50 people who joined this meeting today, and we add all of you, it will be $2,500 for us.
Yes, but our students are working with test plans, of course. All students working.
Question: can you please check if there is a way to share that group, like invite link or something like that to join that?
To the Slack.
Yeah. There's this thing.
Shortcuts. No.
More, maybe try more.
About more, change mute jump, copy, rename additional options. I can leave it. No, I believe
to it because people joining, but they need to search, right? Or
yes.
you need to manually
Yeah, You can actually do a browse channel and look for homeworks.
Okay, that's what I did. Okay, if that's
Like this.
understandable.
So you will need to do like, if you're joining the Slack, you need just like to go to channels, click like add channel plus, browse it. Yes. And see like homeworks, right?
Mhm.
And you will, yes, it's here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay.
you can ask questions here too. So yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Julia.
So yeah, I will send all the links from this course again in the Slack, in the announcement. No, you can do it actually, Arthur, a bit later, but I will post in the homeworks as well. Okay.
Maybe. Okay, I will just probably share the recording of this lesson there, plus the document. You can share the document links and everything. I will just share the recording and then the next lesson, Zoom meeting and everything else.
Yeah, awesome.
No, anyway, we will be in the chat. So if any questions or something like that, just we can just even rename that, not to homeworks, but something like free course or whatever. So all people just there, and we can discuss homeworks, videos, ask questions or whatever. Do everything.
Yep. Yes, that's something like this. So it was nice to meeting you guys. You asked awesome questions. I think my part here as a teacher of QA manual course is done. If you have any questions, just reach out to me in this presentation. There's my contact. So yeah, feel free. I'm always open to talk about this because I love testing. And if you need any advice or something, just Slack me message or connect on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Let's go with questions.
Yes.
Okay, so Jinjit, am I spelling that correctly? Jingit. How's to spell it correctly? Okay, I will be just then if you, okay. So the question is, why do you create test cases for the text area instead of test steps? You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. This is just an approach. The thing is, for example, in test management tool, you can see on the page, let me bring it. That's actually a good question. Look, 1 second. I will share my screen one more time. So in test management tool, you can see right away the title. So you're trying to put your test case, your information as a check in the title, as a short summary. Sometimes it's better really to open it and to create steps inside and check each steps. There's a different items, but I was attending for recently webinar from TestRail, for example, and this is it. This is the way where we're moving to right now. We are going to this like summary way test cases because we're trying to save time. Manual testers, they're always needed, by the way. It's not true that, okay, automation will erase manual QA from the earth. No, that's not true. They're always needed, but we really are trying to automate as much as we can right now. There's tendency, and we're trying to save time even on creating these test cases, right? Right now, I just showed you several steps and that's it, but basically we're trying to save time on creating all of it. So we're combining what we can in the summary, and it's very important for the tester to write clear summaries, write clear titles like this, and you'll see in 1 week when we were trying to do some bugs. Yeah, that's yeah. So because of that, actually, but sometimes, yes, you do need right
Yeah,
steps and
it's
so.
really a team decision. It's how your team decides, and maybe you have specific reasons to do that or not to do that. So it's really up to your team. If your team decides, hey, it makes sense to write steps, or it makes sense to do something, and it really depends on what you need to do. If you're preparing your test cases to be automated in the future, or in your system, it's just easier to write test cases in that way, because that's what we do, because it's easier than just to say pass, pass, fail, pass, right? Not to go by steps. That's why we do that. Okay, the next question, Shahi is asking, will we get the class recording in the slides? Yes, it will be in that homework chat. So please join that chat. We will just continue the communication there. Is it good test case if we can verify that image is clickable? We don't have a requirement for that. You can click for it on it, but if it's clickable, probably it will be a bug, because there is no such requirement. Or it's good time to ask, probably, Julia. Is that a requirement, or it should be clickable?
Yeah, as a product owner, no, it should be just image. When you see in the requirements something like the image, yeah, it's not clickable. Like just an image, and it's not going to be interactable in future. No, we don't think so.
Okay, Feruza is asking, can we ask question? Of course not. I'm joking. Of course, yes, just ask. Actually, let me go through the list. If somebody will have a question, other questions, you can unmute yourself and just ask.
Yeah, but I see the feedback from Feruza a bit like if you scroll down, that it's explained, what explained was I didn't understand honestly, and maybe it's for people who already know something about it. So maybe, yeah, that's a good feedback for us, actually. You know, I was trying to be, it's intense. Like it's always when you're trying to show how it works, it's intense. And maybe for you it was too intense, but it's okay. And I already replied while Arthur was working with requirements. I replied a couple times in the chat about like on courses we're starting like really step by step. And even if it's hard for you, we're talking with working. I don't know how many weekends I spent with my students already, you know, just like on one-to-one and so on, because I love my students. And if you don't know something, you have some blanks in your knowledges, we fill it with information. And by working every day on assignments, on tasks, you're going into it, you are mature every day. And I love looking into the progress of the students. I love when they have their aha moment, you know, they don't understand something, they're like, I got it. And for me, it's like, yes. So that's what is it about on building this community, honestly.
My feedback will be, so try to simplify things. Do not try to perceive them too complex. For example, imagine what we did today as a Lego constructor. So I like to play with my daughter and build those Lego constructors. So you have that instruction, right? How to build it, how to every piece comes together. So try to imagine this lesson the same. You have documentation. What you need to do is to read it, then take a look at the design, try to understand how will it work. That's what I did actually, right? I also saw this application for the first time because Julia created the documentation. Sergey and Stan are working on the application, and it was my first time when I saw this documentation. So what I'm trying to do, read it, put it on the side, a design on the side, and just, okay, try to understand how it works. And then you go line by line in documentation and create a test case. Hey, try check that this button has this name. Hey, check that this button located in there, in there, in there. Simplify, like you're, I don't know, again, doing that Lego constructor or reading any other user manual. You just go line by line and try to understand how that phone works, or maybe you have a user manual for your brand new vacuum, right? You will read it, how to turn it on, how to use it, and this is how it works. It's the same. You just read documentation, and try to understand how it works, and then line by line create a test, which is pretty straightforward, right? And also homework plays like significant role in this, because you cannot, sometimes you maybe didn't get something during the lesson, you start doing homework, and you then understand that, oh, this is, now I understood, this is pretty straightforward. I take this line, create a test case. This is what I need to test. Then, so imagine how would you test it forgot about test cases. You have document, and it says, hey, should be located here, and this is how it looks on the design, right? Your goal will be, if I tell you, hey, go and test. Right now, open the application and just test, and let me know it's working as expected according to the documentation or not. In your mind, anyways, right, you will go and say, hey, I need to check if this is in the left top corner, right? Because it's an image like that. So just a test case for that. Check that this element in that left corner. And this is how we do. Just the same actions you would do manually without the test cases, describe them in test cases, and then go and test. So this is what we're going to do. Again, not test because we don't have application yet, just create test cases. That's your homework, and pretty straightforward. And again, you try, we will review your test cases, and then we will give you feedback. If there are any problems, we'll let you know. This is how it works.
Yeah, and Firuze actually already commented like, thanks for answering. It's made much clearer. Yes.
Yay. Okay,
See.
maybe it's for people who already know. Okay, thank you, Arthur and Julia. Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Divya, for a good question, really. Gera, it's better to separate elements and functionality when you write test cases. For example, first you list only elements cases, then functionality cases. Up to you. And Julia maybe have some answer.
Yeah, so basically that's how I am doing it. By the way, hey, hello. So, and you know what? This approach, it's very helping. As I told at the beginning of the lesson, sometimes you get these general questions like, how would you test registration form during your interview? And you have to come up like verbally with some test cases. And in this case, this approach will help you to answer this question like, okay, how you're given some kind of page, how would you test it? First, I will check that all elements are present, right? That they're on their own places, that they kind of look like they should look. Then I will test functionality of each of these fields if they have their own functionality. And then I will be checking how they interact with each other. So this is how we test it. And there's the last step. It's like, and then after we actually verified that everything is working, we're trying to break it. Like if we have an input field that accepts from 1 to 70 symbols, let's try 71 and check what is going to happen. But only after you check that elements are present and they're working as they supposed to, as it described. Yeah, that's the approach that I'm working, and it's always safe way and clear way to work with.
Yeah.
Where to get invitation link to your Slack. Okay.
How you get to this place if you didn't have any invitation? Because usually we publish the link to this Zoom lesson in Slack or in Telegram. So I'm not sure where you come from, but we can send you here. I will just send in 5 minutes. Yeah, Telegram. Okay, good. So we have where you, I'm sure where you saw our post about this course. So there were pictures, 6 pictures with the course plan. So today's lesson, tomorrow's lesson with the dates, with the topics. So on those images, there were topics, 6 topics for this course. So you can review that post, either that was in Meetup or it was in Facebook or in Telegram, so whatever you came from. There was initial post about joining Slack, and it had 6 pictures. So you can review those pictures, and there's like topics of the lessons with the dates and everything else. Alexander, good job. Well-built lesson. Thank you. But we were not preparing. We will just, having fun with you guys.
And by the way, like Artur, I think he doesn't know yet, but I talked to him about this, but I have a great plan, guys. This lectures, like for example, today we were looking through one page application, and that actually it's kind of registration form for you. The type of it, it's registration form. And I have a long list that I'm thinking and I want to work on, like some kind of forum or some kind of chat or some kind of search machine or personal blog or so on. So we want to create so many different features and use them for these tried out sessions, because when you're testing them and in 1 week we will test what our developer will create, and I have no idea how it will look like. You saw today nice design and maybe it will be so ugly, so I'll be screaming and like, why? But then we will file us some bugs then, guys. And in a week, Arthur, maybe you will help. Like, I know, actually Arthur was the person who taught me how to create the best bugs ever. And developers, when they see bugs from me, they're like, taken. I'm taking it because it's always provide great information. Yeah. Sorry, talking too much. Okay. Arthur, Rome asking, what is the course plan? And there's a link to join the Slack from Arthur.
This is the link to join the Slack, right? Okay, let me send you the course plan. If you are in Slack, let me send you the link to that message with the plan. I believe we had it in announcements and there were 6, yeah, here's the picture. So let me share my screen actually, and I will send you the link to this message. Share screen, desktop. Here, as you can see, right? So here's the 6 images in the initial message. So you will see that, can you test it? This is today's lesson. Tomorrow we have coding basics in JavaScript, which will be variables and constants and data types. Next week, testing, we will be checking results of your test cases, what you created, and we will start executing them and looking for bugs and raising them. Then there will be again coding basics on Wednesday. We will learn functions and methods. And third week will be interviews, soft skills and interviews. And last lesson will be test automation. Based on the knowledge you will get on coding basics, we will do some test automation, and you will see that it's very easy. And when you will create your code that will run something in your browser, I think that will be something you will be amazed by. Copy link.
Can you mute yourself, please?
Yeah, I will. Let me get back to the chat because I don't see who's talking. Okay, now I muted. Okay, and this is the link to that message. Did I send it? Oh yeah, let me. So there are 2 links right now. Let me do like this. Join Slack. I paste it. Then separator. Then plan. So you can clearly see different links. Okay. Any other questions? Come on, unmute yourself or just ask a question in the chat. Good. So great job, guys. Nice Nice. I really enjoyed because we had many questions, and that's actually what we enjoyed. So just to let you know, so we don't like when people are just sitting silent and not asking questions. When you're interacting with us, asking questions, we see that you're eager to learn, right? That's what makes us happy about the course. That's what's actually what motivates us. Actually, motivates me. I don't know about Julie. She will tell you on her own. We'll see. So yeah, questions, Julia.
No questions. The best student will get something from this shell at the end.
Yeah. So yeah, you told me about the bonus. Yeah. So I have an idea. If some people will get to the last lesson, to automation lesson, and automation lesson will be my lesson. I will conduct that lesson. And if some students will get to that lessons, um, and with the completed homework, so we will complete homework for all lessons, you will get very good bonus, very good bonus. You will be amazed with it. So that's what I can promise. Okay, I'm done for today.
Me too. That was nice meeting you guys, and please reach out to us, like all contacts we provided. And if you have any questions, like it doesn't matter, are you gonna stay with us, learn with us or not? Please join our courses, participate, learn from any sources that you can, and yeah, you will succeed. Yeah, absolutely, I believe in you. Yeah, that's great profession. I will be glad to see you as my coworker someday. Yeah, yeah. I love working with students because someday when I'm gonna be old and tired and I will be fired because I'm too old and too tired, some of my students will hire me because I'm so nice teacher.
Actually, no, I have a funny story actually that happened to me this weekend. So this weekend I played a game called Mafia. Maybe some of you heard about it, and it's like becoming very popular in the world. There are a lot of like tournaments, and it's becoming more and more popular in the United States. And this weekend there was a tournament in New York, and I went there with my two people from Sacramento. And so my place was 30th from 30 people. So I got the last place. I'm not a bad player, but I got the last place in this tournament. But my guy who learned from me how to play this game, he got third place. He won the third place, and everyone was saying, "Hey, yes, Arthur, not the best tournament for you, but your student who learned from you won the third place. That means you're a good teacher, right? So that's your win also. So probably that's what Julia is talking about, right? So when you're a student doing great, you also feel proud because those are your students, right? And when my students right now work at companies like Apple, Google, HP, Amazon, and getting like 200K a year, of course I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, students are pushing us forward. When you're working in one place, you already know all this stuff, and kind of you're working with this, you're safe, you're getting some money, and that's it. But students are asking a lot of questions, a lot of good questions, and you are actually starting looking for some new information. You have to keep up, you have to provide them the newest information, be on the top of it, and you guys are pushing us forward actually, and I love it about this. There was a question, what is the due date time to submit the homework? Basically until the next lesson. For example, we will be back for testing what we reviewed today on next Tuesday, but I would ask, and actually that's a good one. Good questions, guys, you're asking today. So I will post probably Sunday because on Monday I will be starting to starting preparation for the next lesson, actively preparing. Actually talking to myself before the lessons a lot. So yeah, I will post it. Sunday would be great because I will overview everything, answer all questions, and then focus on my work. And the question from Feruza, like how can we know the special programs like Azure, Jira, Wiki, etc. Oh guys, when we are working today, I chose for this course, free course, spreadsheets, Google Docs, because almost everyone knows like how to work with it. Because of that, I used the tool that we know. All other tools, I explained how to work with them. Even during my first lecture, I explained some nice features about Zoom and about Slack, how to correctly write there. Actually, I'm spending time with some of the people, like learning how to do nice screenshots with your laptop or with other programs. And yeah, sometimes I'm sending people to read something about like in Google. Yes, why not? But then I follow up, and if there are any questions, I will answer them, of course. Yep.
You just reminded me how our students motivate us, especially if your student calls you, hey, thank you, Arthur. I just get a 200K job at Apple. And you're like, okay, what I'm getting left? I'm his teacher. Like, I have to move forward. I have to look for another job. Because that's what happens usually when students start getting more than you and getting some nice jobs. Yeah, that's probably a good indicator for you. You have to move forward too.
But
Okay,
yeah,
that's all for me. Any other questions?
for me too.
Okay, anyways, guys, we're still there in the chat. So if you have any questions, if you will have any questions tomorrow or day after tomorrow or later, just, yeah, feel free to post the questions there. Homework needs to be done till next lesson. That would be the main, and just if you have any questions, chat, message, and we will just be there online available for you. Okay, good job.
Thank you very much.
See
Bye.
you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.